देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवयां भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, canto 1, chapter 9, 1.9.15. Yatra dharma sutho raja gata panirviroktarah Krishno astri gandivam chapam suhrit krishnastatho vipat.
Hare Krishna, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, how wonderful is this influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of demigods controlling religion, Bhima, the great fighter, and a club, the great bowman Arjuna with a mighty weapon Gandiva, and above all, the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances from everybody who have joined the group and are about to join. Mataji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 9. And the text for today is text 15, Mataji. We've just read the text and the translation, but we haven't done the Mangalacharan, Mataji. Would you like us to do the Mangalacharan?
Yeah, I can do the Mangalacharan, Mataji.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy Diwali. Happy New Year again, Mataji.
Thank you. Wish you the same, and wish you the same, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thanks.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavranda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam, Tato Jayam Udireye, Shnota Swagata Krishna, Punyashravanaketanah, Hridayantastoji Udrani, Vidunoti Surat Sadam, Nashtapraisha Avadreshu, Nityam Ahota Seviya, Bhavati Uttamasloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. All right. So let's get started. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we are in the episode of the passing away of Bhishma Dev, and today's verse is verse number 15. Now, as you all can see, the first 4 verses are talking about Pandavas visiting Bhishma Deva's deathbed. So what is happening at Kurukshetra? Being afraid for having killed so many subjects, Yudhishthira, desiring to understand Dharma, went to Kurukshetra where Bhishma Dev had fallen. Accompanied by his brothers, Krishna, sages like Vyasadeva and Daumya, Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera, surrounded by Guhyakas. Seeing Bhishma Dev lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandavas and the Lord Krishna bowed down before him. This is what is happening in the scene. And then 5 to 11 is talking about Bhishma Dev welcoming everyone assembled at his deathbed. The great souls from all over the universe have assembled to see Bhishma Dev, who all had assembled there? Narada, Bharadwaja, Parashuram, Vashishta, Gautama, Atri, Sukadev Goswami, Kashyapa, Angirasa, all of them assembled. Not only them, they also included their disciples. And Bhishma Dev welcomed all of them properly, for he knew Dharma as applicable to time and place. Again, we have to understand, Bhishma Dev was not able to welcome them physically, but what did he do? He did so by his sweet words with hearty expressions. Your facial expressions can actually be a symbol of welcome, right? When people come to your house, if you just give them a smile, that itself makes a big difference. Instead of just staring at them, looking at them with a serious note, you can just smile, and this gives a lot of it helps us develop that kind of a bond with that person. And worship of Krishna. What does it say? Bhishma Dev, knowing the glories of Krishna, worshipped him as the Lord of the universe, Jagat Ishwaram. He worshipped him as if he is situated within the heart, Hridistam, manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. So this is how he worshipped Krishna, knowing him to be the supreme personality of Godhead. And seeing the Pandavas silent and overwhelmed with affection, Bhishma Dev spoke to them with the eyes blinded by the tears of love. So we can understand how Bhishma Dev is expressing his love. Tears of love. This can be heartfelt only by the other person. The Pandavas are there and they are showing the expression of love because of Bhishma Dev's reciprocation. Because Bhishma Dev showed his tears of love, the similar reciprocal mood will be given by the Pandavas as well. And 12 to 17, one of the verses we are going to see, the theme is that Pandavas are going to be, the Bhishma Dev is going to pacify and he's going to encourage the Pandavas. This is a very important theme, dear devotees. This will definitely answer a lot of questions that is there in our minds as well. So it's very important theme that Bhishma Dev is going to talk to the Pandavas. Although you, the sons of Dharma, did not deserve to be alive under so many sufferings, you were protected by Brahmanas, Dharma, and Achyuta. Kunti suffered greatly due to Pandu's death and having to raise the young children. She suffered even when you were grown up because of your actions. Due to time, all this done by inevitable time, which controls the world along with its protectors, just as the wind controls the clouds. How can there be reverses in spite of the presence of Yudhishthira, the son of Dharma, Bhima, the holder of club, and Arjuna, the holder of Gandiva, and Krishna, a well-wishing friend? So we are going to talk about a very important theme. As you all can understand, number 14, it's talking about the reversals that were caused by time. How could time attack the Pandavas who were filled with sthai bhav? What is sthai bhav? Sthai bhav means the bhav that you have established with Krishna, right? The sthai bhav means the constant stable bhav. What is that bhav? The Pandavas have established a sort of sakya ras with Krishna. So dasya, sakya, vatsalya are the relationships, and madhurya are the relationships that we can establish with Krishna. And how can these people who have sthai bhav with Krishna be affected due to reversals caused by time? How is it possible? It's very astonishing. The reversals are seeming like, is it due to karma? The reversals are appearing because if you look at an ordinary person, whatever reversals happens in his life is based on what? Piety and impiety. Okay, he did so much piety, and that is why he is getting a big bungalow. He's having so much wealth. He has many cars. Maybe due to his piety from his previous life, he's got all the stuff. We always look at a person in terms of what he did and what the reaction is. And that is what we conclude. Okay, it is due to the effects of karma. But with regards to these Nityasiddha devotees of the Lord who have established sthai bhav, is that what is the reason? Is karma the reason for their reversals? Therefore, Bhishma Dev is going to give a final conclusion in 1.9.16. So tomorrow's verse is what is going to be the conclusive verse for all of you, for all of us to understand the theme. It's a very important theme that we are going to see in tomorrow's class. So, so today I was thinking we will mostly look at the time aspect, and we will also understand some intricacies to what this verse talks about. Okay, so let's get started with the theme for today's verse and then move on. Just going to go to verse forward. Okay. So we all know Maharaj Yudhishthir, he's not faultless. I mean, he's faultless person. He is integrity personified because he's the son of Dharma. He didn't want to harm anyone. But on the other hand, if you look at Duryodhan, he was very envious. And with his comrades, Dushashan, Shakuni, Karna, they all joined him and convinced, okay, even Dhritarashtra, you have to join our campaign. Like that, they all convinced even Dhritarashtra to join their campaign. And they started to fight for the throne. And we all can understand the Pandavas, they were cheated, they were blasphemed, and they were disgraced, as you can understand from the episode of Draupadi being on the exile for 12 years. All this they suffered. And Duryodhana, he wanted to humiliate them further by also sending them some sort of troubles in the forest also. He even made plans to murder them. Ultimately, when the exile was done, Yudhishthira Maharaj was so patient and kind. He just said, oh, we are Kshatriyas. We are Kshatriyas. We have to rule. At least give us one village. And as I said from our earlier classes, he did not even accept that proposal. I will not even give you a land that could pierce the head of the needle through. So this was the extent of his envy. He was living by his treacherous example. He was the personification of adharma. And meanwhile, we have Krishna, who's a well-wishing friend. And Krishna, he decided, yeah, this Kurukshetra war had to happen because he tried to do some peace agreement with Duryodhana, and Duryodhana did not accept that proposal. And hence he declared, yes, the war should happen. And Krishna had made this decision. And even during the time the war was happening, Yudhishthira Maharaj was ready to give everything back to Duryodhana if he just gives them a slightest concession. So he was always looking and having that hope. Yes, one day this person, Duryodhana, will change and he will come back to us. And at that time, I will give him a concession and give everything back if he's ready to say that, oh yeah, we will stop the war, something like that. After Kurukshetra, so many people died. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he's now coronated as the king. And here he is. He's lamenting like a person, and he's feeling bad that he's responsible for people's death. Because of me, all these women, all these people, they're all dead. Children have no father, and I'm sitting on the throne to enjoy. So this it was not practical for him to sit on it. He couldn't. He was just lamenting, and as you all can understand, it's the inconceivable nature of a devotee as well. A true devotee, he has this very soft heart, and it is an opposite to material conditioning. When we look at ourselves, what is the tendency in us? We always are waiting for a chance to blame others, blame people. Oh, see what he has done against me, what he has done. So many shortcomings we try to point out of a person. Blame either other people or circumstance or material nature or even God or anything or anyone for our mistakes or for our failures. Actually, for a conditioned soul, even when he has no inclination to blame others or to criticize, I mean, when it comes to unconditioned soul, I mean, when it comes to a devotee, what happens to him? He has no inclination to blame anyone or criticize anyone. All he likes to do is glorify and always look at the good of the other person and try to see his pitfalls. This is amazing, isn't it? This transformation of heart happens by bhakti. We would be able to see as we are advancing in our process of Krishna consciousness, how I was before and how I am after. That means you're doing your sadhana correctly. That means your sincerity to the sadhana is helping you to develop those qualities by the mercy of our Guru Vargas and by the mercy of Krishna and Radharani. This is what is happening, dear devotees. We can definitely see a contrast to our behavior, how we were. We have to compare ourselves with ourselves, not compare ours with others. This is what leads to envy. Oh, look at him, how nicely he's practicing. We should get inspiration rather than being in a competitive spirit. We should just look at him. Oh, yeah, this is the way even I want to do my sadhana. This is the way I want to be enthusiastic. Krishna, please give this quality like this other devotee, you can pray to Krishna, no problem. Instead of getting envious in our heart, we always have an alternative, right? To pray to Krishna, to get those qualities in us as well. Krishna is all merciful. Krishna is just waiting. When is this person going to turn to me, going to show a little bit of devotion? And then I am ready to extend whatever he wants from my side. We just have to take a teeny tiny step, and Krishna is all there, ready to execute whatever we want. He sees the devotion and then accordingly reciprocates with the mood of devotion that we have. So Krishna, by his own free will, we were able to see he was not able to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he brought Yudhishthira Maharaj from Hastinapur back to Kurukshetra with the Pandavas. Krishna wanted Bhima to get the credit of speaking the highest truth to pacify the heart of Yudhishthira. And also Bhishma, who was laying in the bed of arrows with his, from his neck to his feet, he could not even put his finger between the two arrows. So many arrows were there. He could not even put his two fingers between the arrows. Imagine how much he's suffering. And what a Vaishnava Bhishma Dev was. This is the scene, my dear devotees, that you are practically looking in at Kurukshetra. How we see so many demigods, so many rishis are standing, waiting to hear what is Bhishma Dev going to speak to the Pandavas. They are all very eager to understand. Such elevated devotees are eager to understand what Bhishma Dev has to say. And Krishna is there right in front of Bhishma Dev. And he wants to glorify Bhishma Dev and give credit to speaking this highest truth to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And can you all imagine Krishna is personally there? What more does he want? So now Yudhishthira Maharaj is going to talk philosophy. It is just setting of a scene has happened. And now we will get into today's theme and try to talk about a few things that are not noteworthy to understand. So he's saying, in my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, and under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. So now the scene is Bhishma Dev is speaking to who? Yudhishthira Maharaj or the Pandavas. So Bhishma Dev is lying, as you can see, in the bed of arrows. His body is pierced by these arrows, and he's in a very, very uncomfortable situation, a painful condition. It is not possible for an ordinary living entity to even maintain his life under such conditions. But Bhishma Dev had a very extraordinary personality. He was a great warrior, a Maharati. He had the strength of 10,000 elephants. Of course, there were others also, not many, but there were others also in the battlefield who had such power as him. So Bhishma Dev was in great, when you look at him, he had this boon that he could give up his body at his will whenever he wanted. So this is the condition, and with this condition, he was lying on the bed of arrows. And he sees the Pandavas sitting next to him in the gentle demeanor with folded palms like this. And Bhishma Dev, looking at their sincerity, see, they were like this, but sitting in a gentle demeanor with folded palms, waiting to hear from a great devotee. And Bhishma Dev, upon seeing them, he had tears in his eyes. Now Bhishma Dev understood Maharaj Yudhishthira what he was feeling. Yudhishthira Maharaj, he knew in his heart what is Yudhishthira Maharaj going through now. And he felt, Yudhishthira Maharaj, what did he feel? He felt he is responsible for killing millions of people. What to speak of animals that were killed on the battlefield? There were so many horses and elephants that were killed in the battlefield. And Srila Prabhupada says, Yudhishthira Maharaj is the emperor. And emperor, what does he see? He sees his praja. And praja, ja means, ja is anyone who takes birth within his kingdom. So the emperor is like a father to all beings in that kingdom. Are you able to understand, dear devotees? Praja, ja means anyone who takes birth within his kingdom. How nicely a Sanskrit word is phrased. Just understanding this word actually helped me to get the context in a much better way. So each and every Sanskrit word, if we were to understand, then how nice would it be? I think I really miss out on that part of not knowing Sanskrit, or not even Hindi for that matter. So anyways, people who knows the language, I think they are very, very blessed, and we should just relish Bhagavatam through the Sanskrit words that Sanskrit words. Along with that, Srila Prabhupada has given the meanings as well. So it's definitely very, very great if we could analyze the verse in that way. Coming back to the point, so now we can understand Yudhishthira Maharaj, he's feeling responsible for the death of so many people. And now, as I told you, widows, children who are fatherless, and old men who didn't have support, all of them have been killed in the war. And that is the state of mind. He was thinking the battle was fought just so he could get the kingdom, he could become an emperor. And for this is the battle worth. Simply to get the kingdom, all these people have to die. So he is blaming himself. And Bhishma Dev understood, okay, this is his situation. He understood the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And therefore, the first thing that he told the Bhishma Dev told to the Pandavas was, oh, you gentle souls, the Pandavas, how many tribulations you had to undergo. When he said this, he was literally feeling how many sufferings the Pandavas actually went through. He was literally able to feel it in his heart, and he conveyed the message. And when somebody feels the story, or feels the incident that has happened in somebody else's life, what does that mean? It shows his compassion. And because he was paradukka dukhi, right? You cannot tolerate the sufferings that is gone through by a devotee. And he felt in his heart, and because of that feeling, he had tears in his eyes. And then he said, oh, your mother Kunti, she went through so many difficulties in her life. She was a widow when you were all young children. She had 5 of you, and she was without an husband, and you were all young, small children. She had to raise them. Kunti Maharani had to raise, and she had to go through so many difficulties. And she has to also see, oh, what happened to you when Duryodhana was giving you so many troubles. In fact, he even wanted to kill you. So that time also she went through sufferings. So Bhishma Dev was trying to tell Yudhishthira Maharaj that there was great injustice that has been done to you. And the battle that happened is just to counteract that injustice. So Yudhishthira Maharaj should not hold himself being responsible for this battle. This was the point that Bhishma Dev was trying to convince. And so from Mahabharata, we understand there are many reasons for why this battle had to take place. So in the context here, what we are looking at, Yudhishthira's lamentation, and Bhishma Dev is giving his opinion. And Bhishma Dev is saying this is all due to what? Inevitable time. This battle is taking place because all these men who are killed, all these people who have become widows, this all happened due to inevitable time, under whose control everyone is. And every planet is, everybody is under the control of time. What is the power of time? In the material world, nothing can happen without time, isn't it? Nothing can happen without time. Can you all, understand this point? Our lives are timed. There is a time when we appear, and there is a time when we die. There is a time when we will have our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Everybody will log on at that particular time. And there is also a time that the Srimad Bhagavatam class is supposed to end. Everything is timed in this world. So time is a very powerful factor which is moving everyone within this material creation. If there is no time, nothing would exist. Actually, when does time come into picture? Do we have time in the spiritual world? No, apparently no time in the spiritual world. Time is absent in the spiritual world. Whereas the material world begins with time. What happens in the process of creation? When Mahavishnu glances on this material nature, what happens at that time? The Supreme Lord, he manifests the feature of time. And time is also entering there. So time is becoming manifest. at that time when Supreme Lord glances on the material nature, at that time, what happens is the material modes are agitated and the whole creation process begins. The modes are agitated, then the false ego comes into picture. After that, the three types of false ego in goodness, passion, and ignorance come into play. And that is how the mind, the intelligence, the senses, the cross elements, they're all made because of the time feature. So the time, when time is becoming manifest, when the Supreme Lord is glancing on the material nature, all this starts to come together. Then Brahma, what does he do? He brings all the ingredients that are there and he binds them. And this is what is a secondary creation. And the qualified living entities, they get their bodies according to the karma that they have done in their previous lives. They accordingly get a body. It all starts with time though. What is time doing? What is time doing? Time is passing. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kalosmi, I'm destroying time. Time is the destroyer of everything, right? As one passes from childhood to youth to old age, what happens? We start dwindling. We start becoming weaker and weaker. So we need to understand time is the destroyer of everything. The clouds are moving. They are carried by the wind. The wind is moving because of time. So time is moving everything. This is the point that Bhishma Dev was trying to say. You're thinking you're the cause of this battle? Bhishma Dev is saying, in my opinion, this battle took place because of inevitable time. So everything is controlled by Supreme Kala, a forceful representative of the Lord in this material world. Yudhishthira Maharaj, you should not become sorry for the inevitable action of time. Let's pay attention now to this word, inconceivable. The action of time is inconceivable. We cannot conceive because it is achintya. Just like how do we see the effect of time? What does it mean that anything is happening to us? It is happening. How do we understand this? So anyone who is conditioned in this material nature, anyone who is conditioned, he is under the influence of time. Do we decide at what time we can take birth and what time we must leave the body? No, it's arranged by our superior authorities. But what is causing us to get a certain birth at a certain time? It is our karma. So karma is of two types, prarabdha and aprarabdha. First of all, we need to understand karma. What is karma? Karma means to perform an action for which you will get a reaction, right? Karma means to do some work. You do something and to that particular activity, you get a reaction to that activity that you do. So prarabdha means you're experiencing the reaction to the work which you have done. It could be in the previous life. This is prarabdha. So prarabdha karma would be, say for example, if somebody is having a legal implication in their life, this is prarabdha. You're suffering as a result of the karma that you have performed. Now this body that we have got is prarabdha karma. You get a particular body as a result of your past actions. So this is prarabdha karma. And there is another term, this is aprarabdha karma. The work is done. You have performed the work already. The activity is complete. But the results are not yet manifest. They are yet to come. So what is there between now and aprarabdha karma? It is the time. Your aprarabdha karma is going to come to you. And what happens to this living entity? This living entity, this conditioned soul, what is he trying to do? He is trying to counteract this prarabdha karma. We get some suffering, we try to mitigate the suffering. Yes, I want to mitigate the suffering. Somehow I want to calm it down. We are trying to avoid that suffering. We are trying our best possible means to overcome or try to at least alleviate the suffering. And while trying to do that, what are we doing? We are creating more aprarabdha karma. More reactions are on our way. It will come in the future. We just have to wait and we will then try to mitigate it once it comes, once it becomes prarabdha. So this is what is happening to the living entity who is conditioned. He is trying to have sufferings. He's trying to combat the sufferings, alleviate his sufferings, and then create more karma in the process. And then that aprarabdha, it will take time to manifest in our lives, and we have to wait and fight through it when it comes as prarabdha. This cycle is continuously repeated every time we perform a particular action. So every moment, the conditioned soul is under the control of his body because he's experiencing prarabdha and aprarabdha karma that are coming to him due to what? Due to the influence of time. So no one can escape the influence of time. But does the time also influence that which is not material? Does time also influence that which is spiritual? No. Time doesn't influence that which is spiritual. Time is only controlling the material aspect. So he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Never was a time when I did not exist. Never was a time when you did not exist. Never was a time, Arjuna, when you did not exist, and never was a time, all these things, they did not exist, nor we will cease to be. That means we are always existing. Arjuna, he went through the same dilemma, isn't it? What Yudhishthira Maharaj is experiencing now was went through by Arjuna as well. What did he say? I didn't want to fight on the battlefield. As a Kshatriya, he came to fight, and he's saying, I don't want to fight now. When he saw his grandfather on the other side, when he saw his teacher Dronacharya on the other side, when he saw all his cousins and family members, he thought this battle is not worth it. He said, I'm not going to fight. So Krishna, he begins his instruction by telling Arjuna that you are not the body, Arjuna. This is the first instruction he gives. The Lord said, those who are wise, they don't lament, neither for living nor for dead. The wise man does not lament. And Krishna said, never was the time when I did not exist, you did not exist, and never we will cease to exist. We will always be existing because we are spirit souls. This means the future also, everyone is going to remain. So you should kill them. There is no death or birth for a soul. You should kill them, Arjuna. Arjuna, he got convinced by hearing Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, which was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Arjuna, he engaged in this battle. Krishna also made this point that this battle is arranged by me. Krishna said, this battle is arranged by me, and all you have to do, Arjuna, is become an instrument. So the point is, Bhishma Dev is also trying to make the same statement here by telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj, the battle was already arranged by Krishna. And Arjun was expected to become the instrument. Are you all able? And Arjun, it is clearly this information that Bhishma is trying to convey to Yudhishthira Maharaj is trying to make to the point which is already talked about in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. This battle is already arranged by Krishna. And Arjuna, he is expected to be an instrument for Krishna. So Bhishma Dev is telling Yudhishthira that everything is happening due to inconceivable time. So you should not be sorry. Everyone must bear the actions and reactions of time as long as one is in the condition of this material world. But time acts differently on different kinds of people. For a conditioned soul, as we discussed, it is his karmic reactions that are coming into play. You have done some sinful activity? Yes. As a result, you're suffering now. But because you have done these impious activities, you're getting suffering. But we have to understand, in the case of Yudhishthira Maharaj, is he a conditioned soul? Is he a sinful person? Is it why Kunti Maharani is suffering all through her life? It is said from the previous verse that she was destined to suffer from Srila Prabhupada's purport. She is destined to suffer by providence. Why is she suffering? Is it because of the sinful life from a past life that Kunti Maharani or Yudhishthira Maharaj is suffering now? So what about Prahlad Maharaj, the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? How many sufferings he had to go through? His own father, he made so many attempts to kill him. How about Srila Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada, what was his only purpose? Whatever he did, what was the motive for him to do a particular action? It was to spread Krishna consciousness, to help the conditioned souls. How many challenges he had to face. All these difficulties that the Pandavas, they faced, it's all Are they experiencing suffering from their past sinful activities? Is it okay to say that? Not at all. No, there's no sinful reactions as far as Pandavas are concerned. So I'm just going to touch upon the 16 verse, but there's so much to discuss in 16 verse, so don't be intrigued if I'm revealing the suspense that's going to be talked about in the tomorrow's verse, because it just flows as a continuation. I definitely have to bring this point up, because I can't put a question and stop the class, isn't it? I'd have to just give some explanation there. So he's saying it is the Lord's desire. Time is coming in the form of Lord's desire. For the karmis, time is coming in the form of karma. But for you, Yudhishthira Maharaj, time is Lord's desire. Why would Lord has to put the devotee under such a suffering, put the devotee into difficulties? What is the reason? Right? The immediate question will be asked. To teach lesson to everyone. So the Lord has come to this world to assist. We are seeing the pastimes of the Lord. And what we are understanding is that we all have to become instruments. This is what the Lord is expecting. You become the instruments of the bigger plan. The Pandavas, you're there. You're becoming the instruments for the bigger plan of the Lord. The Lord has a bigger plan and he comes here. And you, eternal associates, you also come with them. Come with the Lord. But Arjuna, he was put into bewilderment because of Yogamaya. In similar way, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was put into bewilderment because of Yogamaya. How can Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita if Arjuna was not put under the influence of Yogamaya? We would not have got Gita today. So Krishna, he puts the devotees under difficulties to teach us a lesson. Bhishma Dev is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj as a part of this war. And now he's laying on the bed of arrows. And what is the mood of Bhishma Dev? What is he trying to tell? And how was Yudhishthira Maharaj feeling about the whole situation? This is a lesson for us. Bhishma Dev is telling, okay, it's due to inevitable time. Don't feel sorry. Don't hold yourself responsible. What is time? Time is under Krishna's control. This is Krishna's plan. You are the instrument. And we have to think we are the instruments of Krishna's plan. If I'm able to speak or if I'm able to preach, I'm being used as an instrument to do the Lord's service. Any activity, anything in this world, if we were to take us as instruments to perform an action for Krishna's sake, then that would be glorious. And don't think that Yudhishthira Maharaj has committed some sinful reactions because of which he is lamenting or he is getting the suffering. Right? So we have all accepted the material body for whatever reasons, and we have to face the material conditions. A devotee, he is faithful to the Lord. What is he guided by? He is guided by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. Under all circumstances, he sticks to these religious principles and he will not abandon the religious principles for whatsoever. These three are very, very important for him, the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. If you are in cooperation with the Lord's plan, with the mission of the Lord, if you are guided by the devotees, the Vaishnavas, if you are adhering to the religious principles, then whatever difficulty we face, we will remain confident. You can remain confident and there is nothing to lament about. Srila Prabhupada is clearly mentioning in this purport that these are the three guiding principles which are the aim of our life. So when we understand this mood that Srila Prabhupada talks about in the purport, then we can very well understand that whatever is planned, whatever that has been planned even into our lives, it is all the mercy of Krishna. If we are surrounded by Vaishnavas, we can always go and talk to them about our issue that is happening to us. And that way they'll be able to give us clarity about our problems and then give us solutions to those problems. And then we have a reference to back up, because the Vaishnavas are not going to simply tell you to do something. They are going to always back up whatever they are saying with the Shastras. So we always have a place to go. And when we are guided by these three, the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras, they always stay in alignment whatsoever. If there is no alignment, then there is something wrong somewhere. Shastras can be wrong. So we have to see where the disconnect is. But all three will be in alignment all the time. I really, don't want to go in more with regards to the 16th verse, because tomorrow you'll be seeing what are the, probably Prabhuji or Mataji will be talking about more so what does this Krishna's plan mean, because each and every devotee should understand this, and they should act in appropriate way, because for a devotee it's always Krishna's plan. And we need to, when we take it in the right spirit, we look at both the happiness and distress as if it's a mercy of the Lord, and then act accordingly. So today I will stop right here, and I'll leave up the forum for questions. So thank you so much, dear devotees, for your time today. I know I'm ending it maybe five minutes early, but would love to hear any questions or any comments. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam bhavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you very much, Mataji, for giving us today's most important point, that that all these devotees who suffered, it was not because of their karmas that they suffered. It was because it was Lord's desire. So that was the greatest doubt in my mind. And I remember that story of the mother-in-law chastising the daughter in the presence of the daughter-in-law, the new daughter-in-law. So, so I now relate it to this mundane example, that yes, Krishna will give his devotees a lot of well, we can say his mercy in that way. We might think that the devotee is suffering, but it is actually Krishna's mercy. So thank you for bringing that point and clarifying it in my mind. Are there any other questions or comments? Sorry, Mataji, my internet is not stable today, so I don't know whether you can hear me properly.
Oh, I can perfectly hear you. No problem, Mataji. I'm perfectly fine. I can perfectly hear you.
Hare Krishna, are there any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams, Lakshmi
Yes.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I have one clarification and one request, Mataji. So the clarification is, prarabdha karma is already manifested karma, and aprarabdha karma is yet to manifest, right? Am I
Correct.
right?
Correct. You're right, Mataji. You're right. Aprarabdha is yet to manifest, and prarabdha is already manifesting in the form of suffering.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. And the request is, this is Bhishma Panchaka week is going on, and I would like you to at least tell a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes of how Krishna took the weapon for Bhishma exclusively, because he promised that he won't take the weapon, but he took for Bhishma, right? So can you please outline that, Mataji? It would be so, we will feel blessed to hear it. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yes, this particular set of verses is going to come ahead. It's such a beautiful story, Mataji. It's such a beautiful narration, and we just have to imbibe it into our hearts, because this has so much rasa in this. This particular set of verses has so much rasa in it, and it's. I'll definitely try to talk about a few things from there. As you asked, I'll just talk about it. I'll just go to Srila Prabhupada's purport.
Thanks, Mataji.
Sure.
Sorry
sure.
to ask all of a sudden, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. So now, the story is such that Krishna is turning to Arjuna, and Arjuna, remember, in the palace of Virat, in the front of so many witnesses we had, you were able to kill the Kauravas. Especially, so many Kauravas were there, and you were able to fight with them with ease. And now you're standing and you have to kill Bhishma. You're just not able to kill Bhishma. You are there, but you're not there. Like that, Krishna was chastising Bhishma. Not Krishna was chastising Arjuna. There's no determination in you. And Arjuna was like, I must kill Bhishma. But there is no determination in his voice. And Krishna was like, if you want to kill, then show me in action. Because even his voice was not strong. And then Krishna was on the chariot and he said, do it in action. Yes, I'm going to do. And then he goes and he stands in front of the chariot and then he strikes an arrow at Bhishma Dev. He just shoots and somehow the arrows fall at the feet of Bhishma. Are you able to understand the scene? Krishna is telling you have to kill him. You have to do it with determination. He's reminding this Arjuna, oh, boss, remember what happened in Virat? You have to fight like that with such a determination. You have to fight. You cannot just simply be a coward and not be able to give your best. And this is how he was motivating him. Now, we have to understand a very important point, how difficult it is for us to surrender. Arjuna is telling in words, even the words were not strong. Are you able to understand, dear devotees? In our present lives, we are put through situations where we know certain times that this is wrong. I should not do because this is pratikul. But we still end up doing such things. Isn't it? This is because of our anarthas. Of course, we have different kinds of anarthas. Paratota, dushkrutota, sukrutota. All those anarthas, they are actually not allowing us to do even though we want to do. And here, in this case, we are seeing that Arjuna couldn't. Even his voice was not ready to surrender to Krishna. Even that voice, the voice readily showed him, oh, he's not going to strike upon Bhishma Dev. It is just going to his feet. Nothing but his feet, because he's paying obeisances through his arrows, through that arrows. What Arjuna is doing is he's shooting the arrows at the feet of Bhishma Dev, paying obeisances to him. And Krishna is understanding everything. Oh, game is over. Bhishma wants to kill Arjuna. He knows. Because Bhishma is fighting rigorously. He sees there is no hope. Because Bhishma is giving up left and right. There were arrows flowing here and there. At that time, when he sees there is no hope, then what is Krishna doing? He jumps off and he rushes to Bhishma. He picks up some chariot wheel and Bhishma, upon looking at Krishna, he's like, Hari bol, oh my Lord, you're coming to kill me. Like that, Bhishma is rejoicing and Krishna rushes at him like how a lion rushes towards the elephant. His yellow dhoti was flying away. It was so light, it was so silky, it was flying. His eyes, it appeared like a red copper from anger. He wants to kill Bhishma, and Bhishma is in full ecstasy. Come on, my lord, come on. I'm your servant, I'm your slave. You come and kill me. At that time, Arjuna, he jumps from the chariot. Krishna managed to take 10 steps. Although he was running at the speed of light, he managed to take only 10 steps. And Arjuna came to his senses. He jumped off from his chariot. He grabbed to the legs of Krishna and he began to beg him, oh my Lord, don't break your word. People will blame me. Because what is he trying to do? Krishna is trying to do the work that is allocated to a devotee. A devotee is given a responsibility, and if the devotee doesn't do, then Krishna is saying, I will do that job myself. At that time, he's accepting, I am to be blamed. People will blame me for making you break the word. I am responsible for you breaking your word, my Lord. I promise you, I will kill him. I will kill him myself. Then now Krishna is able to understand, okay, if you are able to kill, then I will return. No problem. So you can understand, right? Krishna jumped off the chariot. He rushed off to do the service that was given to Arjuna. That's the most annoying thing. Arjuna was allocated this particular duty to kill Bhishma. And he was not able to kill Bhishma because he loved him. Now, this is the love triangle. This love triangle will be explained more in the next class, but I just wanted to give you the glimpse of what has happened. As you can see, Krishna is empowering Arjuna to fight against Bhishma, and Bhishma is Bhishma is all very, very rigorous to somehow kill Arjuna. He made up his mind, and then he was fighting in that rigor. And as soon as Krishna saw, oh, okay, Arjuna is not in a position to kill Bhishma, then what did he do? He took a chariot, he rushed off towards Krishna, and he was going to kill Bhishma. And Bhishma Dev, looking at this particular scene of Krishna coming towards him, he was rejoiced. Why he was rejoiced? That is because he has love for Arjuna. That is why Krishna didn't even mind about him. He didn't want Arjuna to be killed. For the love of his devotee, Krishna is ready to break his promise. Now, why is Arjuna lamenting? Arjuna is lamenting because, oh, I should not be the cause of Krishna breaking the word or the promise that he has made. So I will do whatever Krishna says. And how difficult it is for us to surrender to Krishna is something that we can learn from the episode. And then we have on the other side, Krishna caring for his devotee, at the same time caring for Bhishma Dev's words, because Bhishma Dev has given a promise that you should, what was the promise that Bhishma has given? Oh, I will either kill Arjuna or make you lift a weapon. Either one I will do. So to protect the words of his devotee, he did that. So this is love triangle, dear devotees. A very interesting episode that is going to follow. Of course, this was just an overview, but more to come as we are going to enter into our next episodes.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Mataji, I have one question. So when Krishna was reciting the Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra and Sanjay could see it, and he was relaying it to Dhritarashtra. Who else was listening to the Bhagavad Gita? Because it was in the battlefield. So
the others were not able to listen to Bhagavad Gita. They were there, but they were not really. I mean, the demigods, I think everybody they saw, but how much they heard, I'm not particularly sure. I think Path Prabhu, you can answer this question. But to my understanding, people who have turned away from Krishna, they were not in a position to understand. The Kauravas, they have turned away from Krishna, so they did not. So whoever turned their faces away from Krishna did not listen to Bhagavad Gita. So it was just mainly the instruction for Arjuna. And there's also a question that remains. Does it mean Yudhishthira and other Pandavas heard? I don't think so. But Path Prabhu, you can clarify, Prabhuji. I also would love to know the answer for this, if you know.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much for your nice class. Yeah, except that he's Arjun's son. His name just I forgot. What is his name? Ghatotkacha? No, Abhimanyu.
Sanjay. Sanjay heard.
No, Sanjay
heard, yes.
He was the son of Arjun. He came to the Ghatotkacha, like that, 80% I'm sure. He came to fight, and when he fight, and he was so bravery. And then Krishna took his exam. Then he was passed, and he is supposed to take. This is Mahabharata. Just I'm not reading any Bhagavatam or anything, but I just heard some lecture. He just took arrow, and in that arrow there is some red color, like something, and like that one. He took this one, and he's putting everyone's head of the Kaurava Sena. So Krishna knows he will be able to defeat it. Only alone he can defeat everything. So that he, by the way, he's cutting chop off his head, but he has a desire to see the Kurukshetra war. So that Krishna put his head in the top of in a bamboo or in a pole, and he watched the entire Mahabharata war. And when Mahabharata war was finished and everyone want to go to the credit, oh, I did many, I killed many. Then everyone go to that one Ghatotkacha, the head, the chopped off head is there on the top of the pole. He watched everything. Then he He answered, like I saw, no one is just, you are just doing your duty, but I saw the Sudarshan Chakra, the dishes of the Lord Vishnu. He came and chopped up the all the Kurusena and everything, even including of the Pandava Sena. You are just playing, but the actual killer or the actual benefit or credit is go to the Sudarshan Chakra or the Vishnu. He told that one. This is a, I heard, but I'm not sure. He saw the entire Kurukshetra. I think it is Ghatotkacha is Bhima's son. Yes, right. He is the son
Yes,
of a
yes,
Bhima.
yes.
Yeah, it is the Ghatotkacha, the son of a Bhima, and he is the, his mother is a demon. So, but she was a good devotee of Lord Vishnu, and this is the thing. He is the another witness of the entire Mahabharata. Yes, Mataji. It is
Yes,
nice.
Prabhuji, even I have heard this.
Yes,
Yes,
this
yes.
is, yeah.
But I
Thank you,
was
Mataji.
wondering if Yudhishthir Maharaj or anybody else heard it. But
Yes,
I
Barbaric, yeah.
guess the
Barbaric.
Arjun.
Yeah. Mataji telling Apostle Lakshmi Mata is telling barbaric. Yes, this is the one person. The name is different. Ghatotkacha or barbaric like that. The same thing. I think like that, but yeah, maybe this one. Bhima's son.
Wonderful. Thank
Thank
you,
you very much.
Prabhuji. Mhm.
So much.
So,
Any other questions? Yes, Urmila Mataji, Hare Krishna.
what about Hanuman sitting on the top of the chariot? No, can we say that he heard also?
Top of the chariot, the Arjun's chariot. This is a Hanuman.
Yeah,
Kapidhara.
there was a flag of Hanuman
Yeah.
sitting on that. So he must be hearing
Really, like
also.
already. Yes, yes. Mataji already told. The demigods also seen. Everybody is seen. Also, Das Digapal. Everyone's seen. Also, Hanuman obviously. There is this connection because Hanuman want to promise to help him so that he was in a top and he can see that one. But in a like this way, there are the two witnesses are there. One is Sanjay and one is this barbaric.
That's definitely good to know, Prabhuji.
Any more questions or comments? If there are no more questions or comments, please can I request Prabhuji, will you please end the session?
Thank you very much, Mataji. I missed many classes due to Kartik and so many programs is going on temple.
Did
It
you
was
go to
very difficult
Vrindavan,
to-
Prabhuji? Did you go to
No, I
Vrindavan?
will tell you.
Okay.
But now, yeah, because people are coming to offering lamp, then some classes are going on, some house programs, some guest sannyasi, sons they are coming, and sometimes a kirtan. So many things because we cannot deny them, and we supposed to be attend them. So encouraging more to come to the temple and attending.
Wonderful.
So thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you very much your class, and also now I mentioned the Bhisma Panchagaji going on, and we are reciting the pastime of Bhisma Deva. It is so, it is like double century, and also, and you are talking about the past deed, the karma, like this papa, bijam, kutam, phalam. There are so many things, prarabdha, aprarabdha, so many things. But this is all for the karmic people, and who
Karmic
is in the
people.
Krishna consciousness. They are doing their suffering, but they are suffering, but like that, no, they have some problems, but they are not suffering. That is the main thing. They are not suffering. Suffering, the karmics are suffering. Like the life example of Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Jai. How many surgery? Almost all the part changes in his body, but he's not suffering. He's still okay. He's conducting the GBC meeting, and Karthik is now he's giving initiation more than 500, 600 disciples in Vrindavan. In this Karthik, during this Karthik, traveling all over the world. There is no suffering. Although he changed all his organs in the body, two times, three times operation. So they are not suffering. Similarly, Pitama Bhishma also not suffering. Just like Mataji mentioned, it's just for the teaching of the general public. How the Krishna they put the danger in his devotees so that they are more coming to the Krishna consciousness, so that we can learn how we supposed to be surrender. Like the Bali Maharaj, he is surrendering everything. Then Krishna giving the ultimate abode. So this is the thing. Thank you, Mataji, for your nice class. And also thanks all the devotees who joined here, although you are busy schedule, but still you are devoted your time to coming here. We are so grateful to all of you. So I request all the devotees, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of our grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Please join. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare.
Pancha Kalpa Tarurubhyasya Kripa
Sindhubhyaiva cha
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Patitana.
Namo Namo.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare.
Our grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji ki
All
jai.
glories to the
Jai.
assembled devotees.
Jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I think I missed Panchali Mataji and Shashwin. I think they are very, very regular. I just wanted to express that. And thank you. I think Path Prabhuji, you kind of compensated by giving a pleasant surprise. Thank you, Prabhuji, for your darshan. And it's always great to have you as well. And thank you all devotees for joining and listening. Happy Bhishma Panchak week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.